So every machine has this on-off switch. This one's a little bit newer with the computer, but most of them are on the left side, so you have an on-off switch. And your light, if anyone's not, you know, having that work for them immediately, let me know so I can get you on another machine. I'm going to do something a little bit different than the order that he just did on the other video. I'm going to do the bobbin first. And the reason is I want to point out when you sew on most of the machines, unless this part is not working properly, you can wind your bobbin as you sew. So if you wind this part, it creates the bobbin as you're sewing. So you always have a clean bobbin ready. So I'm going to show you what, if you don't have this set up already and you need to make your bobbin. I'm going to do it with the red pen. So you want to always make sure you come up here. You need this height. You don't want to go directly to the machine. And there is a hole right here on the side of the wheel. Again, right in between the wheel. Make sure you get it in between the two. And then you're going to put it onto an empty bobbin. So this one has holes in it. I'm going to try and thread. You're going to wrap this around several times so it's tight. And then this is placed there on this knob that's sitting out. Now, when you have this threaded correctly, it's going under and under. Okay, so you want to make sure you have that direction with the thread, not over, it's under. Then you can put this, snap this into place, and the if you haven't used these machines a lot, they take a knee to lift the presser foot. So don't be using this up and down. You take your knee against the pad, and that lifts up the presser foot. Okay. Right now I'm going to wind the bobbin. So I'm just going to let this go. And once the bobbin is full, it will pop. The same thing will happen if you're sewing and you have this set up with another thread. It'll pop once it's full.
Speed up.
Yeah. Seems a little slow, doesn't it? But you know, also you don't want to have your machine threaded while you're doing this because it'll tangle up. And I do want a full bobbin, so I'm going to make you wait. I'm getting there.
You know what always confused me? That I never knew what guided it to go left to right. Actually, I was like, it always goes left to right, and it always gives you like a perfect level amount of.
Yeah. So, and you want to make sure it's tight too, because sometimes these things wind and they're real spongy. That's not going to be good. So you want to make sure it's tight. So you watch it from the beginning that it's in there good. All right. Now, this is just like the home models. You place it in. You bring it up through that notch, and then here, make sure it pulls nice and easy. And then I'm going to open this so you can see. You don't need to open it once you get the feel for it, but the prong that's out there, you place the bobbin in on that prong, and kind of play with it until it clicks for you. Okay, if you don't hear the click, it's not in properly. You gotta hear that click. Okay, now we can thread this. So again, make sure you go through the hole. This has got the wheel on it, so you can, you know, bring it through the wheel and also through this hole. If it doesn't have the wheel, just wrap it through the 2 holes, okay? And then here, you place this through the top hole, and then I don't usually go all the way around again, but it will give you a little more tension. So, but just make sure you get both holes through. Maybe I will do it because it's a little easier. Right to left. This thing. Okay, and now we're going to go straight down into the wheel between the 2 plates. You bring it up over the wire. There's a thin wire here, then down below the bigger hook, and then here. So this is the part that's most critical when students are first learning. So I like to think of it like when I was a little kid and I learned ballet lessons, it's like down, up, down, up. So if you remember that, this kind of helps me when I was learning. So it's down, up, and then you come through this hole up here. There's another hook on the side. There's a hook right behind here. And this one, there's a little tiny hole here. Sometimes I use it. It doesn't do that much. It probably helps a little bit with tension. There's a little hole in there. And then I go from left to right to thread the needle. And these needles are very fine, so sometimes it takes me a little while. So left to right. And then another thing too, just to make sure the groove is on this side of the needle. If your needle is reversed, it won't sew properly. So sometimes if someone changes the needle improperly, that can cause problems with the sewing. Okay, then you, just like a home model, you bring this down to pick up the bobbin thread. And that's threaded, okay? Once you have that, now you notice the whole time I did not touch this. Now with the home model, you're used to that. That's habit. Try and get out of that habit right away, because a lot of times students will leave this in an up position and forget and start sewing, and then all the threads jam. So just get in the habit of using that knee pedal for this class. Okay, and then you're ready to sew. And it's, can you hand me, there's a little piece of muslin right behind you in that orange container. Yeah, it's stamped too because I spilled water. Okay, thank you. And what you do, you lift it with your knee and just test your fabric. This is your reverse. And test to make sure that, you know, the back, this is already kind of funky. I gotta check my bobbin out because it's not catching properly. But check it out, just as I did, before you try and sew anything, until we get a good finish. Let me take this out. Some of the models like the clockwise. I do it counterclockwise, but every model is a little different, so this may be one of the clockwise ones. Yeah, and then you want to check that your back is clean, that you're not getting this kind of thing. Okay, and once you have that, you're ready to start sewing. Play a little bit with your scraps, get a feel for the machine if you aren't already used to it, and then after the break, we will get some more lessons on how to sew.